are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome in Sports Talk Chicago. My name's Jon Zaghloul. John Meadows is directing and producing. It's great to be here with all of you on a Sunday afternoon. No Bears game. That's okay. We're here. We're going to go live. We have topics to discuss. We have interaction to be had. There's so much to be a part of here today. And we're glad that you're here joining us. You can follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. Subscribe to the YouTube page, please. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We have over 18,700 subscribers as we are on the road to 20,000. You can follow us on social media at Sports Talk Chicago as well and help out all of our stations at the top of our screen. We've added a new affiliate up there, 98.3 The Life up in Round Lake Beach, Illinois. We're going to be airing there Friday mornings, 8 to 9 a.m. starting this upcoming week. So if you're up there in the northern suburbs, make sure to check us out there. Of course, also big shout out to our current affiliates, WKAN 105.5 The Ticket, ACTV, JTV, WJOB, and Cities 92.9 Talk FM. As you can tell by the title, we have a lot of Bears stuff to get to. We have some other topics to get to as well. We are going to be having this be more of an interactive show, so you may be sure to comment, hang out here with us today. We're going to get to everything, or as much as we can here, over this next hour plus. Want to start out today with a little bit of information to all of you and give you a little bit of a rundown of who we are here at Sports Talk Chicago. Sports Talk Chicago began over 10 years ago as a website only. We started by writing up free blogs on the internet at sportstalkchicago.com. Over time, we delved into podcasting, started audio only. By 2020, we added the YouTube element of things. We're on the radio now on 5 stations, 7 in total. We're on 2 TV stations and now 5 radio stations and counting. This has turned into a syndicated program that airs all across Illinois and Indiana. And the YouTube following as well has gone up exponentially over time. This is who we are. We're not just a Bears channel. We are Sports Talk Chicago. We cover everything. We cover the Cubs. We cover the White Sox, Bears, Bulls, a little bit of Blackhawks. And we're doing our best every day to provide you legitimate, unfiltered sports opinions and conversations that maybe other people are unwilling to have. That's what we do here, and that's what we pride ourselves on. And I think that's why a lot of people tune into us. We don't sugarcoat anything. We don't worry about what other people have to say. I'm not worried about nor beholden to specific teams for press passes. I just say what's on my mind. I say it like I see it. Am I going to be right 100% of the time? No, I'm not, but I do my best regardless. And I think that's why a lot of people love what we're doing here on the channel and on the radio and all over the place where we are. So just wanted to come on and say that first and let you all know that this is a Sports Talk Chicago show. All sports are going to be discussed and considered. We haven't had a lot of fanfare in terms of our baseball coverage, but we're going to do our best to work on that this year. The Cubs and the White Sox both have some interesting things going on that we'd love to discuss. In addition, we're on the hunt for more radio stations and radio and TV affiliates. We're trying our best, and we have gained a number of affiliates already with more up the pipeline. We're also looking for sponsors, too. And I will say right now that if anybody's out there who has a business who wants to get a read and wants to get their logo on our screen, you can email us, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com, and we will be sure to work something out, a very friendly deal for both sides, to get your business in front of many more people, whether it be on YouTube or, of course, on radio and TV. One more thing, too, and I guess we'll go through this now. We're going to try and do something a little bit different, especially on these Sunday shows. Obviously, with the Bears season over, this won't be play-by-play, so we are going to have some time to discuss legitimate Chicago sports news. It's not going to be as structured because this show is not going out to the radio. This is just for YouTube and digital only. So we're going to try something new on Sundays. We're going to lay out some ground rules here, so I hope you pay attention. And I'm really thinking this is going to be a fun way to increase engagement on this show and increase face-to-face engagement with you and I. We want to bring the opportunity for you, yes, you, to come on the air with me via StreamYard. We're so excited about this. We're going to call this Fan Rant Cam. And it's going to be easy for you, if you would like, to join me, debate me face-to-face, or offer up some comments, and we can be face-to-face discussing it. So here are some of the parameters and outlines, and you can let me know if there are things you want changed or things you want to discuss about that too. But a couple of parameters. Number one, if you want to be a part of it, we have to give you the link. And in order for that to happen, you have to email us. So before every show or even throughout the week, we check the email. You can email us. It's sportstalkchicago1, the number 1, at gmail.com. If you want to be a part of the conversation, if you have something you want to say, you can email us, tell us your name. We'll give you the link, and you can pop into the back end, and we can get things moving. That's exciting. Parameters for you if you hop on. You're going to be responsible yourself for your setup, right? So we got to make sure that we can see you and hear you well. Got to make sure that everything coming out is audible. In terms of content, no swearing. You can get a little bit heated if you want to, if you're pissed at me, but no swearing, okay? No swearing. We want to keep this PG, right? Because there are kids who watch this show. I know of some. So we want to keep this appropriate for all age levels, whether they're young or old. And I don't condone swearing anyway. I try to keep it at a minimum. No swearing. Keep it civil. But we'd love to have you join us and be able to have more interaction with you in terms of face-to-face content. So if anybody's interested, I see people in the chat already. I see more people filing in, and we're going to repeat this at the beginning of every show moving forward, especially on Sunday. If you are interested in speaking with me face-to-face on this show, right now on the screen, email us, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com, and we will patch you through, and we'll have the opportunity to go back and forth right here in front of everybody. So we're going to have some fun, getting to interact with more people, getting to have some fun with more people, and have good conversations with each other, too. I think it's going to be super fun. I think it's going to be something different that not many channels here in Chicago do. I mean, yeah, of course the radio stations do it because they have the technology. It's a phone call, but how about video, right? How about welcoming people into this space and going back and forth face-to-face and having a fun conversation? I think from a viewership perspective, people will enjoy it and appreciate it. And from my perspective, I'm going to get to know my fans better. We have a lot of you. We have, 18,700 people who subscribe to this page. I want to get to know you better. And with the new year and some new opportunities, I think we could do that. So remember again, if you want to do this, Fan Rant Cam on Sports Talk Chicago, you could be a part of it. Just email us, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. Tell us, hey, I want to be on the air. We'll give you the link, and we'll patch you right through to talk anything you'd like, whether it be Bears, Cubs, White Sox, Bulls, Blackhawks, other things. As long as it's appropriate, as long as you don't swear, we're going to have a good time right here on the program. So I want to make sure I get all that out there. And we're excited to be here today on a Sunday afternoon. No Bears football today. No play-by-play today, but there's certainly a lot to discuss. And I did want to start off with this. Whether people like it or not, Daniel Jeremiah came out, and many other mock drafts have come out as well, saying that the Bears will pick will pick Caleb Williams. The Bears will pick Caleb Williams for Daniel Jeremiah. Now, this is his mock draft 1.0. And here's what he says about the Bears and what they're going to do with that first overall pick. Quote, "We've seen Justin Fields continue to improve, but I still believe GM Ryan Poles' decision at number 1 will be an easy one. The Bears select Williams, the most talented quarterback in the class." At 9, he also says the Bears pair Caleb Williams with Jared Verse, who's the best power rusher in the draft. He'll be a great complement to Montez Sweat. Now, that's what Daniel Jeremiah has to say. Now, you could come out and say he doesn't know anything. What the hell's he talking about? But I'll tell you this. That's been the predominant opinion amongst a lot of NFL draft scouts and NFL draft experts so far. We had Randy Mueller on, former NFL GM, about a month ago now, and he said the same thing. He said that Caleb Williams is a generational type prospect. How could you pass up on him? I know we've all heard the term generational for every quarterback known to man almost, but if you're Chicago and you're in this situation, the way I see it is this. Justin Fields is not a horrendous quarterback. He's certainly passable as a QB overall. Not that great of a passer still, though. Has issues that he needs to work out and work on, whether you like it or not. It's true. Fields is going to be entering year 4. 2 years left. Maybe they won't even pick up his fifth-year option. They're going to have to extend him then, too. There's going to be a serious financial commitment to Justin Fields as well if you choose to stick with him. So the Bears have to make a decision. Are they going to stick with Justin Fields, essentially declare him the QB of their future, and work with him with a new offensive coordinator and a lame duck head coach, Matt Eberflus, or are they going to take a swing knowing that the quarterback salary clock will reset? They could draft Caleb Williams, who is by far the best prospect in this draft, bring in a new OC, who could be Cliff Kingsbury, who currently coaches Williams or just did at USC, and do their best to win football games immediately next year. What would you do? I know Mark Shanowski was on this program, and a lot of people tuned into that clip where he said that he would trade that pick, turn it into 3 first-round picks, and keep Justin Fields. And that's fine. People are entitled to their own opinion. I think it's a smart opinion, for sure. I could see why people feel that way. I just disagree a little bit. I don't think Fields is good enough to be the quarterback of the future for this team. And that's not me being a hater. People always think I'm a hater. That's not me being a hater. It's just me being realistic. The realism at some point has to set in. You know, I was looking on Twitter last night, and I'm sure many of you know the Bears blog, right? He's all right, and I like some of his tweets that he puts out there, but he put something out there just about, I believe it was the merits of why the Bears should take Caleb Williams, and somebody said something to him, and he's like, hey, you know, you Fields cult worshipers could shut up. And, you know, it's almost as if that's what it is, right? If you come out and criticize Justin Fields in any way possible, the first thing people are going to do is say, you're a hater, and you don't like Justin Fields, and this is unfair, and this is a sabotaged witch hunt. That's not the case. Last time I checked, the same things that Justin Fields is failing in now are the same things that other quarterbacks, whether it be on the Bears or across the league, have failed in before, and it's resulted in them losing starting jobs. Okay, Justin Fields, to this day, took the longest time in football to get rid of the football all season, 3.18 seconds. That's an issue, number one. 3.18 seconds to get rid of the football, worst number in the NFL here in 2023. Fourth quarter passer rating was beyond atrocious, unfortunately for him. He cannot show up in the fourth quarter. He cannot get rid of the ball fast enough, and he misses open receivers left and right. He could run. He can make plays with his legs. He's certain for a highlight reel every single game, which is nice. But in terms of being a legitimate franchise quarterback, there's a difference. There's a difference between being a franchise quarterback and being a human highlight reel. And unfortunately for Justin Fields, he's more of a highlight reel than a franchise guy. That's not to say that he can't be a franchise guy down the road. With the right coaching staff and with the right personnel, I think he could be. Here in Chicago, though, it's not going to work. And considering the situation the Bears are in which they have a lot of young talent, and they're going to be adding more, and they're looking to win down the road and be in this for the long haul, paying Justin Fields eventually $40 million is not going to contribute to a winning year, to a winning future. It's not. You're going to be cash-strapped at the quarterback position down the road. You won't be able to sign other people, and then you're going to be stuck with Justin Fields. Look at what happened to the Giants this year. They had one good year, because they never win, so they couldn't believe that they actually won last season, so they decided to keep Daniel Jones. With 15 touchdowns the whole season, and look what happened. This year they had Tommy DeVito step up and Tyrod Taylor step up when Jones got hurt, but even then, they both outplayed Jones by far throughout the year. And now they're stuck paying Daniel Jones $40 million per year for nothing. And they're stuck with that contract for a while. The Bears have to be smart thinking this through. When you're just about to turn the corner and become actually a fair team, a pretty good football team, right? The last thing you want to do is shut that door too early because you're going to be paying a quarterback $40 million per year to be average at best. Sorry, Justin Fields is not the guy. And if it were up to me, if I'm making the choice as to who I'm going to be picking or what I'm going to be doing with this pick, you got to draft Caleb Williams. And you trade away Justin Fields. I mean, Mel Kiper Jr. said last week that the Bears could even get a first-round pick for Justin Fields, and believe it or not, that makes sense to me. And here's why. There are quarterback-needy teams who are going to be looking for a quarterback in this draft. Justin Fields is essentially a draft pick when you really think about it. Caleb Williams, right? Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, and Justin Fields. Think about it that way. The Bears should be commanding a first-round or maybe a second-round pick for Justin Fields, all things considered. These teams are going to be getting a quarterback who still has a lot to prove, but certainly has NFL experience. It could be a C-plus QB. In exchange, the Bears trade him. They get a first or second-round pick. They use that on something they really need, like another wide receiver, maybe a center, maybe another edge rusher. And they draft Caleb Williams at 1. And they build around their team. And one more thing, too, I want to say this, too. Either way, the Bears are in a great position, which is weird to say, but true. Really, they are. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want them to keep Fields, right? But if they do, so be it. If they keep Justin Fields, they're going to have the number 1 pick, the number 9 pick, and other picks scattered throughout the draft. If you keep Fields, you could draft a couple of edge rushers, a center, a wide receiver, and you're in pretty good shape. Now, I don't trust Fields to be the guy at quarterback, but maybe he improves marginally. The team goes 10-7, they make the playoffs. Conversely, they could trade Justin Fields, get a pick back for him, then have picks at 1, 9, maybe, 30 or maybe 50, right? Then from there, you could draft a quarterback, an edge rusher, and a wide receiver, and then a center later in the draft too. So either way, the Bears are not necessarily going to go wrong, and only time will tell whether or not the right decision was made, right? We're going to have to then compare Caleb Williams and Justin Fields' careers over time, see who did better, and see who made the right move at the right time. But I think right now, all things considered, I've seen enough from Justin Fields to know he's not the guy. Now, am I going to say that Caleb Williams is the guy? No, I'm not. Believe it or not, I'm not going to say that yet. I'm not going to say hands down Caleb Williams is going to be some amazing quarterback for this team. We don't know what he's going to be at the pro level. Here's the one difference, though. We know what Justin Fields is at the pro level. And that's not a knock, it's the truth. He could run. He could make highlight reel plays. But he can't get rid of the football in time. He misses open wide receivers left and right. At the end of the day, you're going to be lucky if you ever get 3,000 passing yards out of him. It's true. He's never done it once yet, let alone 4,000, which will never happen for him. If I had to choose between one or the other, I'm choosing Caleb Williams all day long. I really don't think it's much of an argument anymore. The tides have turned, surprisingly. During the year, people were really crazy about this whole Justin Fields stuff. But some people still are. There's some outliers out there. But come on. We've seen 40 games out of Justin Fields. We've seen all that he is as a quarterback, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not convinced right this second, right now, that he is this generational talent franchise guy. You got to hold on to him. And the fact is, if we're still questioning whether or not he's the guy, and we're going into year 4, and the Bears have the number 1 overall pick and a quarterback waiting in the wings, you know what? That says enough. It says enough. It explains enough about this team and about him. He's a nice kid. He's a solid football player. He's not a franchise quarterback. And if we're still having to debate this, it's going to be year 4. The answer is in the debate. He's not the guy. Whether people like it or not, sorry, that's the truth. I want to read some of your comments here, too. We got a lot of, wow, look at this active chat here on YouTube. Can't settle for mediocrity when the other 3 teams in the division have better quarterbacks than you. Exactly. Landon, my man, commenting that. You're so right. I mean, look at these playoffs. Jordan Love is going to be a quarterback long-term for this Packers team. You know what I saw that was funny? I don't know if anybody else saw this on Twitter yesterday, but people were making fun of Jordan Love for throwing a fourth-quarter interception. People were saying, oh, it's the patented Jordan Love fourth-quarter interception. Not kidding. Well, I'll tell you what. And these were Bears fans, mainly, who were happy to watch the Packers' demise in the playoffs. I'll tell you this. How pathetic. How pathetic, all of you. You don't speak up when Justin Fields does this every single damn game, but you're going to speak up now in the NFC Divisional Round playoffs with the youngest roster in football, and Jordan Love, who's torn it up all season long, was one bad game. You're going to sit there and say, oh, threw a fourth quarter interception. But yet everybody's deceptively quiet when Justin Fields does it every single game. Right? It's so ridiculous. Jordan Love, it's not even close. Jordan Love is like 20 times better than Justin Fields. And that's not me being a Packers fan. That's the truth. I'm impressed. Look at what he did this year. Oh, well, he had people around him. No, he didn't. He had the youngest roster in football around him. Well, Justin Fields needs more weapons. Shut up with that argument. Please. I don't see anybody saying that for Jordan Love. And I'll tell you this. If Jordan Love had a tough season, oh, my goodness, they'd be killing him out in Green Bay, and people would be bashing on him here in Chicago. They would. It's true. So true. Yet this guy performs with nothing. You got people from the comment section, from the back aisle, making dumb jokes about him because he threw one pick in the fourth quarter. Justin Fields does that every single game, and no one says anything. It's unbelievable. Jared Goff and the Lions are certainly in it for the long haul. If they win today, they're going to be going to the NFC Championship game, which is unbelievable. I don't know what the Vikings are going to do with Kirk Cousins, but like it or not, I'd rather have Kirk Cousins on my team than Justin Fields. I know for a fact, I can guarantee that Kirk Cousins is throwing for 4,000 yards in a season. And like it or not, that's better than any Bears quarterback has ever had in the history of the team, including Justin Fields. So as we sit here and critique other quarterbacks and make fun of them and put them down and put other teams down, let's put everything into perspective. Jordan Love, Kirk Cousins, and Jared Goff are all far better quarterback options than Justin Fields is today. It's true. So how could you go forward in justifying keeping him when, as Landon said, effectively, you have the worst quarterback in the entire division? And I don't care how good your team is around him, right? The quarterback is going to be important. You might be able to do better next year if you draft a couple of more weapons. Maybe you go 9-8, 10-7. That's great. But long term, you're going to be stuck with Justin Fields being a $40 million per year quarterback doing what? Passing for 2,500 yards, rushing for 800, and making a highlight reel play every game, yet missing open guys downfield and fumbling the football in the fourth quarter? That's not going to help you win football games long term. I'm just saying. Great comment, Landon. See, you already got me already got me going there with that comment. It's so true. Derek, you don't wait. Just take Caleb Williams, period. Thank you. I saw a video comparing Lamar Jackson with Fields 1-to-1. Like I had to make a 30-minute wander on that video. I was so blown away, I just kept typing. Yeah, I mean, and even let's go to that point, right? The Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields thing, and there's really no comparison there either. Lamar Jackson's an MVP winner. He is a proven winning quarterback. He's led the Ravens to so much. They're going to the AFC Championship game. Okay, way different story over there in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, for better or for worse, is an MVP winning and overall winning quarterback based on record. Wins don't matter. Yes, they do. Look at Lamar Jackson, how successful he's been. He unseated Joe Flacco, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, because he won football games. He went 6-3 as a rookie. Record matters to an extent. And Lamar Jackson was rewarded even as a rookie because he won football games, literally. And to this day, he still does. Now, let's look at Justin Fields. 10-24 as a quarterback, right? Or whatever his record is. Come on. It's not even close. Way different story. Two different quarterbacks, two different wavelengths. They might be similar in terms of physique and overall skill set. Like they both could run. They both could throw somewhat the long ball. But in terms of execution, there's a gigantic difference, a gigantic gap that probably will never be closed up. Lamar Jackson's always going to be better than Justin Fields. He is. And if I had to choose between one or the other, it's pretty easy who I would take. Don't fool yourselves. Who would you take? And the fact that there's a difference, that means that one is better than the other, in case you didn't know. Let's see here. What about Cliff? Jay Goodman. What about Cliff Kingsbury? You know what? Here's how I feel about Cliff Kingsbury. And, we did a video. We went live on Wednesday night. That was before the Cliff news broke. I'll tell you this about Cliff. What happened in Arizona was unfortunate for him. They didn't have one winning year with him, but Kyler Murray was his quarterback. Kyler Murray is a liability wherever he goes. And he steps on the field, you're in big trouble. I don't think it's a bad idea to hire Cliff Kingsbury to be your offensive coordinator. Now, I know a lot of his offense is very college-specific. It works in college. Maybe you could argue it didn't work in the NFL, but they did have one winning season in Arizona before he got canned. The GM was also a problem over there, and that GM's also gone too. So there were a lot of issues over there. We're not going to make Cliff Kingsbury the head coach. The Bears are interviewing him to be the offensive coordinator. I'll tell you this. If they actually draft Caleb Williams, I think it's an unbelievably smart pairing. You're bringing in somebody. You're starting off with familiarity. You're starting off this whole relationship between the team and the quarterback with, hey, Caleb, how can we help you? Which is something they should have done for Justin Fields. That's why I'm not, crapping on Fields here. If Luke Getsy called plays all the time, not just sometimes to Fields' strengths, it'd be a whole different story. Luke Getsy was trying to form him to be a pocket passer. Fields is not a pocket passer. Should he be one? Probably, but he isn't. And then Luke Getsy never adjusted, and then that relationship soured, right? But I'll tell you what, if the Bears actually draft Caleb Williams and bring in Cliff Kingsbury, it actually, to their credit, it shows some growth and maturity. They learn from their stupidity when it comes to the whole Justin Fields, Luke Getsy thing. They're going to say, you know what? No, we're going to draft somebody. Let's bring in somebody from the offensive side who is going to help this quarterback, not hinder this quarterback. I'm all for it if they draft Caleb Williams. If they don't, I still think it could be smart, but is that going to work with Justin Fields? I really don't know. I can't speak to that. I don't know if Cliff Kingsbury is going to work with Justin Fields. I mean, he worked with Kyler Murray. They're somewhat similar, but Fields is still a little bit taller than Murray. He could throw a little bit better. So, I don't know. But if they do draft Caleb Williams, I think it's a perfect match to bring in Cliff Kingsbury to be the offensive coordinator. And again, it goes back to the Bears actually caring about their quarterback for once and saying, you know what, how can we help you versus let's force you to fit into our system. That would really be an out-of-the-box hire, and I'd be all for it if they did it, especially if they draft Caleb. John, I really think the Bears like Clint Kubiak. I like Kubiak, too. I mean, his dad was a great coach, certainly a good offensive mind, and obviously Clint's doing good things out there in San Francisco as the quarterback coach. I mean, look at Brock Purdy. Like it or not, you could say he's a lead or not or whatever, but the fact is Brock Purdy has put up amazing numbers this year in that system. They've made Brock Purdy good thanks to their coaching and their ability to plug him into a system and work. So meaning that Kubiak could do the same thing with Fields and or Williams, knowing that he's going to do his best to cater game plan to them versus the other way around. I'm open to that. Let's see here. What else? What other comments? What do you think the new OC will be? I just have a feeling it's going to be somebody that they shouldn't hire. It's not going to be Cliff Kingsbury, although I certainly advocate for that choice. I could see them hiring Roman. And the cool thing with Roman is, he worked with Lamar Jackson. So I feel like if they keep Justin Fields, they're going to bring Roman in to try and, replicate what happened in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. Don't know if that's necessarily going to work. I could see them going that route, though, for sure. If they do draft Williams, I don't know if Williams is going to have a say, but I mean, I would love to see Cliff Kingsbury and Caleb Williams work together, and I think that would be great, and that way Matt Eberflus could stay away from the offense. He could actually trust Cliff to delegate everything, right, to make sure that the offense goes well, and then Eberflus could focus on whatever he wants to focus on. But we're going to have to see how that plays out. Fields needs to sit behind Lamar for 2 years to save his career. Shane Waldron would also be good. Yep, that's a fair point. Yeah, it's going to be the cheapest one, the lowest offer from the bunch of OCs will they pick. That seems to typically be the case, right? The Bears, for some reason, are stingy when it comes to paying coaches. That's how they've always been. And I think that could be the case in this situation, too, unfortunately. I don't know how soon they're going to hire the OC, though, but we're going to have to see. Nano CBD, if we can trade Fields for the number 8 pick in the 2024 draft, that would be the steal of the century. Yes, it would. Ryan Pace worked for the Falcons. Also, Belichick would be the coach in Atlanta, and he could fix Fields, LMAO. Yeah, I mean, Belichick, that's not official yet. I know they're talking to a lot of people. Jim Harbaugh's interviewed down there. Belichick's interviewed there. I don't know why all of a sudden Atlanta is some like prime coaching destination. They don't have a quarterback. So unless ownership has an idea of what they're going to do at quarterback, then maybe I could see why coaches would be interested. But hey, if I were a head coach, right, and I'm looking around at different situations and I look at Atlanta, I'd be like, I don't want to even touch that place with a 10-foot pole. That's me. Why would I come into a situation in which I don't know who my quarterback is? Or on the roster right now, it's going to be a combination of Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder. Yikes, that's scary. But, maybe they have a plan. And if the plan is to acquire Justin Fields, I think that would work out tremendously well. You'd have a couple of good running backs behind him, and Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. They got a couple of wide receivers, young talent. I mean, I think it could work. I mean, if the Falcons had a quarterback this year, they wouldn't have gone 7-10. They probably could have gone at least 9-8 if they had just average quarterback play, let alone elite quarterback play. But I'm not sure how that one's going to play out. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Find it interesting. This is Sports Talk Chicago. Jon Zaghloul, John Meadows. We are live here on YouTube. We're doing this every Sunday, just a digital only, kind of a more of a laid-back, fun show in which we have more commenting, more fan interaction, and more fun talking about a bunch of different things, a bevy of different topics. You can follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. Hit the like button on our YouTube video. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all the subscriptions we've been getting as of late. We certainly need some help to get up to 20,000. We're almost there, and every subscription counts. Hit up all of our great radio affiliates near the top of your screen, too, including 98.3 The Life up in Round Lake Beach. If anybody here is watching or listening from the northwestern suburbs of Illinois, you're going to hear us on the radio dial very soon, 98.3 The Life, every Friday morning, 8 to 9 a.m. We're very, very excited about that partnership. And one more thing, too. We announced this earlier. We'll announce it now, considering that more of you are here. If anybody wants to be a part of the show, you can email us at sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. Sportstalkchicago, the number 1 @gmail.com. You can email us, and we'll put you on the air. Yes, we will. We'll put you up right next to me on the screen. We can have a fun, cool conversation. As long as you don't swear, it can be somewhat civil, we're good. And, obviously you're responsible for your own setup, but just email us and come on with us. We want to have you on here on the stream with us. You can be in front of everybody watching, and, we can have some good, fun conversation. I want to interact with my fans more. I want to have more engagement and better tools for engagement on this channel. And I feel like that's a way that we can get everybody on board, get so many people hopping in and hanging out here with us. I know we have many regular fans who always hit us up, Landon, Dantana, so many people, and you are all welcome. Just email us, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. We'll send you the StreamYard link, and you can hop in. We can have a conversation right now about anything you want to discuss, as long as it's appropriate. And again, as long as we don't have any swearing, we're going to be good. We got a lot of people who watch this show. I don't want it to turn into a a swear fest. I want to keep it PG for everybody. Yes, I do, about QBR. Yeah, John pointed this one out to me off air, and I want to address that. So, Nano CBD, John, do you consider the ESPN QBR stat valuable? JF1 had a 46.2 QBR in 2023. I don't know the exact way that ESPN calculates their QBR. I want to come out and say that first off, and I can look into it and find out more. I prefer passer rating, but passer rating isn't even perfect either, because Jimmy Garoppolo has always a high passer rating because his completion percentage is super high. Even Jimmy G this year, before he got passed, had like a 92 passer rating, but he had more interceptions than touchdowns. So passer rating also isn't perfect. QBR isn't perfect. I mean, there are many different ways you got to judge a quarterback, and the way I kind of see it is this. You got to look at everything. I hate this word, but I'm going to use it here. It reminds me of like college admissions. They always say we're using a holistic process in determining whether or not you're going to get into school, right? That's what they say. That's what they told me when I got into my school. I couldn't believe I got in. I guess the holistic process was real, not a lie, surprisingly. But I use a holistic process. I'm going to look at completion percentage, touchdown to interception ratio, how many yards he averages per game, how many yards he averages per pass. Passer rating, QBR from ESPN. How many times he's sacked? How quick does he get the ball out? There's so many ways to determine whether or not this guy or whether or not anybody is a quality quarterback. So I'm not going to pin it all on one number. QBR is a decent measurement, but there are other ways to look at it too. I'd rather look at everything than just one thing. But yeah, as Mutt says, that's college. Yeah, that's college for you, right? A holistic process. And Basosaurus Rex says that the QBR is weighted based on its difficulty, the context of the game, and the strength of the opposing defense. See, but what does that mean, right? You know what I mean? So, and I love how you put difficulty in quotes. I love that because it's so true. What does difficulty mean, right? Who is making the determination on whether or not a game was specifically difficult? Does that mean if I play in sub-zero temperatures and put up 90 yards with one touchdown and go 11 of 20, that was a perfect QBR, right? I mean, that's a fair question. So, QBR is not perfect. Michael H. JF's release is very slow, literally slowest in the league. I mean, yeah, and that's not a lie. See, you bring that up and people get pissed off, but you're just reciting facts. It is the slowest in the league. It's true. 3.18 seconds it takes from him taking the snap to throwing the football. And I want to put something into perspective here, too. Look, if I was on the field, I probably wouldn't take 3.18 seconds to throw the football. It'd probably be like 20 for me before I got freaking killed and sacked. But here's the thing. He's a professional. It's the worst number in football, so I'm allowed to criticize it. The fact is, it's the worst number in football. He is the slowest quarterback by measurement in the entire National Football League. And this is going to be his fourth year in the game? That's a problem. And Mutt, you're right. I love to watch Fields run. I do too. But that's all he could do. I mean, let me put it a different way. That's all he can do that's worthwhile and exciting. I've never been excited watching Fields pass the football. He's had a couple of nice passes all year long. Other than that, it's been a combination of sacks, incomplete passes, botched timing plays, especially with Darnell Mooney. Right? It has not been perfect. I love watching Fields run. He's a highlight reel in and of itself just by running the football. That's fun. That's exciting. But as far as being a legitimate quarterback, a franchise quarterback, not a running back, not a Taysom Hill type person, a quarterback, he's not there and he's not it. Grand Nagus Jason, how many All-Pros do we need to surround JF1 with to see the elite QB so many Bears fans think he could become? I agree, the coaching was horrible, but there were still guys open that he didn't throw to. Thank you. Thank you, Grand. And I want to go back to this. I don't hear anybody complaining about Jordan Love. Jordan Love, youngest roster in all football. The Packers were supposed to be rebuilding this year. I mean, their best wide receiver was advertised to be Christian Watson. And they went 9-8, made it to the NFC divisional round, and was literally 3 points away from going to the NFC championship. And it was essentially Jordan Love's first year. So now, unfortunately for Bears fans, or frankly anybody, the whole he doesn't have any weapons excuse doesn't work. And I was one of the peddlers of that because I thought at first, hey, it's really unfair that Justin Fields has no weapons. Till they got DJ Moore and made some moves last year. I was one of the biggest proponents, one of the biggest supporters of the fact that Justin Fields had no weapons. And yet, now we sit here today, literally the youngest roster in football Green Bay has, and they go all the way almost to the NFC Championship game. And Jordan Love's essentially a rookie. So now you can't really make that excuse anymore. It happened just to the team far north of you. You can't make that excuse anymore. If he has no weapons and he could figure it out, why the hell can't Justin Fields figure it out? Right? JF1 slow release is my screens don't work. We're allowed to tell that truth, John. You're right, Michael. John, first, second round drafted quarterback has no guarantee that they're all Mahomes. I'd say trade the pick and get a haul for the future of the team. And that's fine, Adam. We could have differing opinions and voice that. I just disagree. I think, the Bears, they have to get a rookie quarterback who is going to cost them cheap, but, not too much money for the next 5 years. They reset the quarterback salary clock. They bring in somebody who effectively is more talented than Fields in terms of a passing quarterback, not a runner, but a passer. And you combine that with what they have already, add a little bit more, and you're good to go. That's just me. But that's kind of the way I see it, at least. So anyway, yeah, Daniel Jeremiah came out and said that the Bears will probably draft somebody in terms of the first pick. Other people are saying the same thing, scouts and reporters. Obviously, there's still a couple of months here to go until the pick, but we're going to have to see how this all plays out. CBD, this is a hell of a stat here. John, in the last 30 years, 20 quarterbacks have been drafted number one, and 70% of them have achieved 4,000-yard-plus seasons. Good point. There's been no Bears quarterback ever who's ever thrown for more than 4,000 in a season. You're giving yourself a 70% chance, effectively, to find a quarterback that'll finally do it and make history for the Bears. I think Caleb Williams could do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Caleb Williams is going to be the answer to every single problem the Bears have. But do I think he'll be an upgrade over Fields long-term? Yes. And that's why you draft Caleb Williams. That's it. It's as simple as that. Who's going to be better for this team long-term? Who's going to be more effective for this team long-term? Who's going to make the most financial sense long-term? All arrows point to Caleb Williams, and that's why you draft him. I haven't gone back to count, but it also seems like at least half the sacks he took were all Justin's fault. The O-line showed growth. The scheme is set to defeat JF1, contain and run growth. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I mean, it's true. And I mean, we've watched it so many times. I'm not going to sit here and name specific examples. I don't have it off the top of my head. But if you've joined us for our live streams during Bears games throughout the year, how many times have we said, yep, Justin Fields ran into that one, right? I mean, it's happened many a time this season. I could recall a couple of times in my head. So, again, year 3, and you still don't learn, we got an issue. And let's not forget the end of the season. End of the year, Bears have a chance to take down Green Bay. That was one of the worst performances. That looked like week 1 all over again. They only put up, 9 points? Wasn't it 17-9? I mean, that was horrible. That was horrible. Horrible game from the Bears and Fields in a game that felt like a playoff game. I know the Bears had nothing to play for, but they could have played better than that. And that's how they came out. They looked flat and horrible. It looked like they did in week 1. So you can't justify anything in terms of that. John, the number 2 to 32 first-round draft picks over the same 30 years has only reached 4,000-plus yards 45% of the time. Very interesting. I love those stats, Daniel CBD. Keep them coming, man. Hey, and if you want to hop on, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. We can talk more numbers. You can hop right on here with us. Somebody's got to be the first person. We've got no emails yet. Somebody's got to hop on, right? Double O, the Blue Air. Bajan had the, first overall and sack percentage, 3%. Fields some games at 29%. So that doesn't work with the O-line talk. Yep, you're right. That game was embarrassing Sunday. Yeah, it was. If Poles likes Mayor Daniels more than Caleb Williams, he can get a ton to trade down one spot. Exactly. And that's a good point, too. If the Bears end up choosing, hey, we don't want Caleb Williams, we feel Drake May's the guy, awesome. That's fine. You could easily trade down, get a haul like, what happened to Mitch Trubisky, right, where the Bears traded up and had to give up a haul to get him. They could trade down 1 or 2 spots and force another team to give a haul to them and make it work. So, no, I fully agree with that assessment. That's a great point on your end, too. I agree. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Already got 20 likes, got 35 people here with us on a Sunday afternoon. We plan on doing this every Sunday afternoon during the off season. We're going to be here, so we're here Wednesday nights, as you know. Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. That's for our more of our tight show that we do to send out to all of our radio and TV affiliates. This one's going to be more of an informal rap session. Let's talk. Let's have some fun. Let's get interactive. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And remember, if you want to join the conversation, you can comment. If you want to come on the air with me, don't worry, we're not on radio. It's just YouTube here, going to be on podcast. You can email us, and we'll send you the StreamYard link to hop on in with us. SportsTalkChicago1@gmail.com. If you want to hop in, send us an email. Tell us your name. We'll give you the link. You can come on in and talk about anything you want with me. Just as long as you don't swear and keep it PG, we're good. And we could have a fun debate, discussion about what the Bears should do and how the Bears should move forward. And anything else, Cubs, White Sox, Hall of Fame. The Baseball Hall of Fame vote's coming up. 3 days. Our good friend Billy Wagner is trending right now at 79% in these unofficial ballot results. Really hoping he gets in, and I'll be following that closely. If he gets in, I want to try and book him again. But I'm really hoping that Billy Wagner makes it in too. He's like really on the edge. The fact that somebody like Todd Helton might get in before him is just preposterous, but that may happen. We're going to have to see how that plays out. So if anyone here is a baseball fan and following the Baseball Hall of Fame results and voting, let's hope that Billy Wagner can make his way in. Exciting for sure to see him this close. I hope he makes it. A lot of people as of late have been, refusing to vote for him. I really don't understand. Like the past 5 or 6 ballots, nobody's touching him. I think it's BS. Don't really understand why or how that works. Are you on right now? Okay. Hey, guys, comment. Do you hear John Meadows? John, the Commanders want Williams. The Giants want him, too. That's true. 3 first-round draft picks minimum for Williams. I'd prefer to draft Williams and keep Fields. Fair point. And you're right. You're right. A lot of teams want him. I mean, I have a buddy who does a Commanders channel. They're crazy about Caleb Williams. Why is it that it's only here that nobody wants him? Everybody wants Justin Fields. Every other team in football, I'm on Caleb Williams. I wish we could have Caleb Williams. Yet here, please give us more mediocrity from Justin Fields. Please. That's what we want. It just makes no sense. I don't understand.
All right. Let's see if this.
All right.
Let's see if this comes through. I might be coming through.
Okay.
Okay.
You're in?
All right. I just want to kick a hornet's nest. I say that term all the time. So,
yes,
we go out. We either get a Caleb Williams or we get Drake Mays. Either or. Who is he throwing to? Let's go through our wide receiver room. Let's talk about our tight ends. Let's talk about one thing I really, really want to talk about is who's our tight end one? I don't know.
Cole Kmet?
So Cole Kmet was made the captain, right? No, he's running the locker room and things like that. I don't like Cole Kmet. As a player. As a person, I'm sure he's a wonderful person. My opinion has changed because he played his butt off this year.
He did.
And he did not perform this year like he has in past years. I wish he could throw a proper block. I mean, you throw a block and then you get open. You don't just run past the guy and let him smash Fields. But do we? No, of course, we have a kick-ass number one. But what about the rest of that room? Are those guys getting open and that type of stuff?
I'll tell you what. And by the way, people, that's John Meadows. So John Meadows has a mic, which I love. John Meadows, director and producer, and he's going to be contributing a lot more here this year, just to let you all know. But it's a great question, right? What are the Bears going to do in terms of their wide receiving room? Right now, obviously, DJ Moore's here to stay, and Cole Kmet's had, really, frankly, a great season. The Bears' other tight ends are a little bit old, like Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis. I think they need a better blocking tight end. I don't know where they're going to get that from, but nevertheless, that's a need. Wide receiver is the thing that really needs some help, too. Now, I am more high on Darnell Mooney than people say that they are. Okay? I don't blame Darnell Mooney for the tough year that he had. For some reason, Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney are just not clicking. Darnell Mooney is not some crappy bust of a wide receiver. He put up 1,000 yards a couple of years ago with 3 different quarterbacks throwing him the football. Okay? So he's not some bum. And this year, there were many times where people crapped on him, and they should have been crapping on Justin Fields. Many times where there were overthrows, balls way over his head. He tried to get him, couldn't get him. It's 50-50 there when it comes to Darnell Mooney. I'm sick of people crapping on him and just saying, yeah, he sucks. Bring in somebody else. Yeah, it doesn't matter who the wide receiver is. If the ball's 20 feet over your head, you're not going to frickin' catch it. So the Bears need some help in terms of, if Mooney leaves, then they need a number 2. If he doesn't, they're going to need still a number 3 because right now it's going to be Tyler Scott, and he has a lot of growth ahead of him. Velus Jones Jr., for some reason, is still on this roster, but even if I look here, I'm looking at a ESPN Bears depth chart. It is a fair point that the Bears do need some wide receiving help. Because right now it's DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Tyler Scott as their top 3, with the backups being EQ St. Brown, Trent Taylor, and Velus Jones Jr. And at tight end, after Cole Kmet, it's Tunyon and Lewis. So they're going to need more wide receiving help. Mike Evans may be a free agent. I'd be open to it, but the problem with Evans is he's already old. Now, I'm not saying that he can't perform, but I am saying that, I don't know how much longer he can. Maybe a couple of years. If you get 2-3 good years out of him, that's a good idea, good deal. But if not, don't know if that's going to be worth it for him. So, yeah, they're going to need to, there are more holes on this team besides quarterback that they need to address. And I know we're all in a quarterback frenzy because the arguments is so inflammatory on both sides. But at the end of the day, they need another pass rusher. They need a center. They need, I'd say, 2 wide receivers, maybe a running back in the late rounds too. It's not just quarterback, and those are things that are going to need to be addressed. I know, T. Higgins from Laz. T. Higgins would be a great investment for the Bears, and he'd certainly be immediately the number 2 on this team. I would love it. And then you have Mooney as a 3, then it's wow. But they have to do it. They're going to have to invest, have to choose to invest. Nano CBD Kmet, 719 yards this year, and 6 touchdowns versus 7 touchdowns the year before. Kmet put up more numbers, and frankly, I was the same way as John about Cole Kmet. This year, he proved me wrong. I have not been a fan of him historically. He used to fumble the football way too much. He just could not catch the ball. A lot of drops, stone-handed catches, or lack thereof. But he had a really good year. And I hope he could build off of that and do the same thing for years to come, because I'm not expecting Cole Kmet to be Travis Kelce or, historically speaking, Tony Gonzalez or Antonio Gates. I will take 700 receiving yards from my tight end every single year. I will. It's not going to be unbelievably elite, but that is top 10 production out of Cole Kmet. So I really can't complain about his production this past year, especially if it continues at that pace. 719 yards is elite in this day and age for a tight end. It is top 10. So by definition, he is now an elite tight end based on that number, and it can only get better. So I can't really trash on Cole Kmet anymore. Hand down says this, too. Mediocre OC and play calling can assist with making an above-average QB look below average. My point is Getsy's play calling is a part of Justin's below-average performance. Absolutely. Absolutely. We've said that on this show all year, and that's why Luke Getsy got fired. Now, should it have only been Luke Getsy that got fired? No. But he was fired nonetheless for the role that he played in the team going 7-10 last year. And that was an issue. And Luke Getsy needs to do better. And, maybe he'll find a job somewhere else, being a passing game coordinator or quarterback's coach, and we'll see what he does. But his time here in Chicago is certainly over, and it's over for good reason to me. I think we've all seen enough from him to know that he's just not the guy. Let's see here. Mooney was the recipient of the worst passes from Fields. He was. Every single time, too. It's true. Fields only found him 2 times in 13 games. Do you think he'd be more open? Exactly. Yeah, I know. I agree with all of that. Sports Talk Chicago, Jon Zaghloul, John Meadows as well, producing, directing, and contributing here on today's program, which I love. Make sure to follow us. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button on this video. And remember, if you want to join us on camera, you can. It's simple. Just email us, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. You can join us right here on the air. We can have a fun discussion, debate about whatever you want to talk about. Keep it PG, no swearing, and you're good to go. We'll throw you right on in. We'll send you the StreamYard link. If you want to just email us, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. John, would you drop Velus Jones Jr. and EQ? Good question. So Velus Jones Jr. just should not be in the NFL, period. And I know there are many executives and even people in Chicago media that say, John, you're going way too far. I don't think I am. I think we've seen enough from Velus Jones Jr. to know who he is. He cannot catch the football. He fumbles the ball way too much. He could be used as a gadget running back, which the Bears did do near the end of the year, but they didn't do it enough to justify his existence on this team. Frankly, I don't know what he does for the Bears. It's like that, what do you think you do here, right? That line, what does he actually do? What does he do for this team? What is he here for? Why is he here? He's a waste of just resources and time. I could find anybody else off the street to run fast and, randomly get a carry here and there. Hit a couple of nice kickoff returns near the end of this season. That's not enough in 3 years to tell me that he deserves to stay another year. And there were times in which the Bears had guys inactive who should not have been active, so that way Velus Jones could be active, right? They had Deontay Foreman inactive early on. They had EQ St. Brown inactive early on, so that way Velus Jones could get more snaps and carries and opportunities and returns. And for what? They have laid out the red carpet for this guy for years. They've laid it out for him for years. They've given him opportunities from day one. He was returning punts and kicks as a rookie. And here we are today, 3 years later. I've seen no growth. I've seen nothing change. Literally nothing. Why is he on this team? What does he do for them? If somebody could explain to me what specifically he does for the Bears, I'll listen and consider. I've yet to hear somebody tell me, Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, even fans, sit down and actually explain to me what he does on this team. What does he do here? What does he do? He fumbles, he mups punts. That's why he can't return punts anymore. He sometimes returns kicks when the ball doesn't go through the back of the end zone. And once in a while, maybe one time a game, he runs for 10 yards. Can anybody tell me anything else that would justify him staying? EQ St. Brown? I could see him staying another year. Why not? He's going to be a cheap asset. He's a good blocking wide receiver. Maybe he'll have more opportunities without Velus Jones in the picture. I have no issue with keeping EQ St. Brown for another year. Velus Jones Jr. needs to go now, and that's the difference. Ooh, this one's fun. McFact, I get it. It's all Fields' fault. He can't block for himself. He can't design plays. They don't have wide receivers running in the same area. He can't call plays. He can't play defense and hold leads. All right. Well, let me ask you this. I'll turn the question back on you, and you're going to probably give me some BS answer, but I'll listen. What did Fields do to help himself? What did Justin Fields do in 2023 to help himself? Honest answer. I want to hear it. Because I can't think of anything. It was the same stuff we've seen for the past 2.5, now 3 years in the league. A highlight reel play here and there. Only one game this year above 300 passing yards. What did Justin Fields do specifically to help himself win games? Because if you're not helping yourself, you're part of the problem. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. So what did he do to genuinely help himself and put himself in positions to win football games? If you can answer that question, I'll take back what I said. But the answer is nothing. What did he do to help himself? Nothing. It's the same thing. We've seen the same stuff.
I don't want to hop on the microphone all the time, but I'm not particularly anti-Fields. Okay, I'm disappointed and all that type of stuff. But to add on to that, if the Bears really, really wanted to save themselves, if they really wanted, put their flag in the ground, make a statement, the Bears could have knocked the Packers off of the mountain and they wouldn't be in the playoffs right now. We didn't even get into the end zone in that game. We got our asses handed to us. And then after that game, that was supposed to be a statement game. Packers came in, kicked the crap out of us in game number 1 after we talked mountains, absolute mountains of trash. All we did was trash Green Bay all summer. That's all we did. And then they came into our house and just beat the crap out of us. Then we're given a chance to return that punch, go into their house, knock them out of the playoffs like the Lions did, and we can't even do that. And then was supposed to keep apologizing for Fields after that. No.
Oh, John Meadows coming in hot. I love it. That was John Meadows, director and producer. And that's a hell of a point. Dan Tanner, good to see you, brother. I want to read this comment too from Double O, the Blue Air. Facts are in 670, and all them commenting in the feed, battling with people about Fields all the time. I've seen him there every time I was in a video. Yeah, that's because the mainstream media outlets, for some reason, just defend Justin Fields to a fault. I cannot believe the amount of times that I've seen somebody who actually does this for a paycheck. We don't do this for a paycheck. We're just having fun. Who actually do this for a paycheck, a full-time paycheck, who come out and just say the wildest things about Justin Fields, have revisionist history about Justin Fields, and find every single possible way to break their back to defend him. It's okay to say that he did not perform. Okay? It's okay to say that he did not have a good season. It's okay to say that he's not the guy. But for some reason, I don't get why, there seems to be some sort of agenda from Chicago media in terms of we can't say anything bad about Justin Fields. When did the media landscape in this city become so soft? Okay? Back in the day, it used to be just like New York here. There used to be legitimate, hard-hitting questions about bad performances. Now today, more people are scared about losing their press passes than asking the right questions. Now, there are some who do. I'm not saying everybody. There are a couple of friends of this program who I adore who do a great job at asking questions. I'm just saying at large. Why is there this agenda to defend Justin Fields above all odds, above all else? It's okay to say he didn't perform. It's okay. Why does it have to come to the point where you're right? And I saw this too, and I don't want to, I'm not going to name names, but I saw some of these big-time hosts literally on Twitter. These people have like 90,000, 100,000 followers. They do this full-time. They're sitting there so mad that they're commenting on trolls who have like 2 followers or calling them out on their BS. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how thin-skinned people are when it comes to their opinions. And then when things go wrong, they go up on a tangent. The fact that we have radio stations in this town, on Twitch feeds and YouTube feeds arguing with commenters, really? How old are you? I mean, you're a radio station. You're sitting here arguing with commenters. Come on, get your act together. That's an aside. That's not necessarily a Bears thing. That's just a media thing. And it's okay if you want to have a conversation, because that's what it's all about. We love freedom of speech. Comment whatever you want. Let's have a cool conversation about it. But to sit there and actually go back and forth and argue with commenters because you're so miffed because somebody trashed Justin Fields, you got to be freaking kidding me, right? How old are you? How old are you? Get the hell out of this industry then if you're that hurt about somebody trashing Justin Fields. Just goes back to agenda-based stuff. Nano CBD, John, your direct question is awesome. Blame the OC. JF1 doesn't make the players better around him, so we need to provide better weapons for him. Yep, exactly. I mean, it is a direct question, right? What did Justin Fields do to better himself? And the answer, you can't provide anything. So then by default, he's a part of the problem. John, he was involved in the Bears being ahead multiple times, only to have the defense blow the lead, the 28-14 lead in Detroit with less than 4 minutes to go. See, but here's the thing, and Mick Fact, you're right about that. You're right about that, but here's what I'll say to that, too. At the end of that game, Justin Fields had a fumble. Remember that? Remember when, the defense blew it, and the Bears had one more chance to come back, and what happened? The patented Fields fourth quarter interception or fumble. He fumbled it, and then there was no talk, the defense. Well, everybody forgets to kind of admit that, crap, Justin Fields did fumble the football in the last possession of the game that the Bears had a chance to come back and win. Laz, where was this compassion for Mitch? Even had much better results with the same quality around him. Thank you. Yeah, where is that compassion? And I'm not, I know everybody knows my stance on Mitch Trubisky, so now people are going to tell me I'm a Mitch lover and I think he's better than Fields. That's not what I'm saying. But, yeah, where is that compassion? Because there was no compassion for Mitch Trubisky. But all of a sudden, we've all turned into, teddy bears about Justin Fields. You got to be freaking kidding me. Remember the game that Mitch fumbled the football for Detroit? It was against Detroit. think maybe it was 2018, 2019. He got sacked, fumbled the ball. Detroit picked it up, scooped, and scored in the fourth quarter when the Bears were inside their own 15-yard line. I remember the conversation after that game. Unbelievable things that people were saying, right? Fast forward to 4 years later, the Bears, they're trailing by 4. Justin Fields gets the football, a minute left to go, fumbles it, Detroit recovers, knees it, wins the game. Not a word about Justin Fields. All the words are about the defense blowing the lead. Not a word about Justin Fields fumbling the football at the last minute in a pivotal game. Not a word. Or how about not a word about Joe Flacco outplaying Justin Fields, Jordan Love outplaying Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield outplaying Justin Fields. Everybody crapping on Baker. Baker's playing right now in the playoffs. Where the hell's Justin Fields? He's sitting at home. Right? He's sitting at home. He's sitting at home. Well, Baker Mayfield sucks. Yeah? Well, guess what? He's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. That's not a lie. That's the truth. Yep, John just said it. Baker right now is tied with the Lions in the third quarter in the NFC divisional round. They could be a quarter away from going to the NFC Championship with Baker Mayfield. So guess what? He's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. See, do you get what I'm saying here? This stuff cannot pass. These arguments are all flawed. If Baker Mayfield is outperforming Justin Fields, you need a new quarterback. If Jordan Love's outperforming Justin Fields, you need a new quarterback. If Jared Goff, if Joe Flacco, I could go on and on and on, because all those quarterbacks, whether you like it or not, outplayed Justin Fields this year in games head-to-head. It's true. And nobody wants to talk about it. Man. Whew. Getting me pissed off. Is it me or is Fields looking like a deer in the headlights? Oh, who did they say that about? Oh, yeah, Mitch Trubisky. But now if you say that about Justin Fields, you're not allowed to, right? John nailed it. We cannot criticize JF1. Right. John, I do remember, and Davis let the left end blow by and sack Fields and kick the ball out of the end zone safety. Yep. John is cooking, and I love it. I take Baker. John on fire. I think it's a matter of talent and potential as far as the Mitch versus Justin goes. I mean, I like this is not a Mitch versus Justin debate. I appreciate the comment, hands down, for sure. I'm not even saying that. All I'm trying to say is, and somebody mentioned it earlier, and that's what I'm going off of, there was a ton of compassion for Fields. Mitch and Fields made similar mistakes. One quarterback was killed and pushed out of town. The other is now being talked about as being better than Caleb Williams and should be the franchise guy. That's the problem that I got. One guy was already deemed a bust the day he was drafted. It's true. The other is doing the same thing as Mitch. Actually, statistically, he's worse. If Bears Twitter was here right now, they'd be literally going crazy. But it's true. You know, I love how people just don't even want to hear facts, right? But it's true. You have a quarterback now who's doing worse than Mitch. He's getting all the love in the world, and people are saying it's unfair and he can't go. But what happened to Mitch was totally okay, totally clean, and everything was fine. The media and the fans have made it about Fields the person. Yep, like most media on air say when someone they like a bad thing about Fields. Yeah, exactly. They have made it about Fields the person. They all like Fields as a guy, and that's awesome. I like Fields as a guy. I think he's a nice guy off the field. But we're looking at this in terms of evaluation, in terms of football evaluation, in terms of actually being a top quarterback and being a legitimate guy for this team. And the fact is, you know, I don't know if anybody else is looking at it like that. I'm not really sure, but they're not. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know. John, all these quarterbacks outplayed Fields this year. Question, was Getsy calling plays for all those quarterbacks who allegedly outplayed Fields? Here's the thing. Good question. Good rebuttal. Here's what I'll say to that. It really doesn't matter. I know that Getsy was not the best offensive play caller, right? I know that there were issues there, but at the end of the day, the fact is, as a pure quarterback, he didn't do well. Baker Mayfield had, Todd Bowles calling plays. Todd Bowles was on the hot seat. The Buccaneers were 5-7 a couple of weeks ago. Todd Bowles was supposed to be fired. Byron Leftwich was fired last year. So my point is, let's not stop making it about the offensive coordinator only. The quarterback has to pull some of the weight. You each pull the weight. It can't just be one or the other, all or nothing. Because you can have a great offensive coordinator with a horrible quarterback and not perform.
Let me toss this comment in. No one has ever mentioned, at least I haven't heard it yet, is that if I'm Getsy, like maybe I have an awesome like OC, no plan or play, and Fields isn't connecting. So now I just lost my job. I just got ran out of town because Fields can't connect.
Yep. No, exactly. And then it goes back to the whole thing of this, right? Getsy, I'm not saying Getsy was perfect, but clearly he's a somewhat smart offensive mind. I mean, he did coach Aaron Rodgers and helped out with that, right? Fields couldn't conform to Getsy. Fields couldn't execute plays, and then all the blame went to Getsy. Well, what if Fields just wasn't executing either? Both things could be true, and instead we've decided to paint the narrative that no, Fields executed everything perfectly. It was Luke Getsy who was the problem. That's wrong. It's wrong. John, Jay have one of the worst fourth quarter passer rating, in the league, and we want to go to the playoffs. Yeah. So do you think that Justin Fields is going to take this team to the playoffs? And here, Jason asked it just now. He's reading my mind. Do the JF1 guys really think that he's the guy who can win us the Super Bowl? Can he stay mistake-free during the playoffs? Can he bring you back if your defense is a bad game? I just don't see it. Comment of the day. I don't want to sit here and go to absolutism because not everything is, black or white. It really isn't. But when it comes to this decision, it is black or white. And we've heard this report throughout the year. The Bears brass have even commented through leaks saying the way we're evaluating Justin Fields is, can he take us to a Super Bowl? Now, I just can't stand the Fields, the Fields cult is what they say. Really, I can't stand it because if you ask anybody out there, they'd say, yeah, he can. No, he can't. He cannot take you to the Super Bowl. He can't. Sorry, he can't. There's no evidence to prove it. There's nothing. You're going off a hope and a prayer and still saying, well, what about Ohio State? It's the NFL now. I don't hear C.J. Stroud and the Texans saying, what about Ohio State? Stroud's past it. Who gives a crap about Ohio State? He's doing things in the NFL with Houston, with a rookie head coach. Man, these JF1 apologists, the Justin Fields idolatry cult, as some have put it, it's really off the charts. And I know some people specifically, I'm actually, you want to call me and say I have a lack of football knowledge, so be it, fine. I'm not an expert. But I'll tell you what, those people who are just defending Justin Fields to a T, there might be a different way around there in terms of football knowledge. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but come on. You can't even argue with the numbers and the performance. You have to sit there and really, I'm talking about really study the tape, find something you like, and then just go with it versus I'm going to ignore, there are 10 things that he did wrong, one thing he did right. I'm going to say the one thing he did right makes him elite, not the 10 things that he did wrong. You're ignoring the truth about him. You're ignoring the truth. I hope the Bears don't ignore the truth because if they do, they're going to suck like usual. So maybe they will ignore the truth because that's what they like to do. Fields, second overall in first quarter stats, no lie, but in the fourth quarter, he is last. Yep. Stroud had a better situation. He'll probably get us to the playoffs and lose in the divisional round. Rinse and repeat for a decade. Thank you. Yep. Let's talk salary cap. Fields will demand $60 million in 2026 on a 4-year contract. Is Fields worth $240 million? No way. He's not even worth $10 million a season. And he's not even making $10 million a season now because he's still on his rookie deal. He's worth equivalent to a backup quarterback. Mitch got 2 years and $14 million from Pittsburgh. That's what Fields is worth. They put up similar numbers. In fact, Mitch is way better in terms of numbers. So, yeah, what are we talking about here? Joe Alt would be a cool LT for the Bears. Build Fields, Williams, Bagent, Grossman, John Quinn, anyone? A wall? Okay, I don't know if I understand that comment. I don't think we trade up or down to get him, but he will be a great OT. Let's see. It's 3rd and 22. Getsy, I'll throw a screen. Yeah, that is true. I agree with you. I agree, McFact. You're not wrong about that. But why aren't these screens working too, right? Why have none of them worked? Now, does Getsy overcall them? Yeah, I mean, I think it's stupid. But also, why aren't they working? Personnel, Justin Fields. I mean, everybody has a role to play in what happened to this team. And calling it all on Luke Getsy and saying everybody else is fine and it was only Luke Getsy's fault as to why the team went 7-10 is irresponsible. By the way, that's what the Bears did by firing Getsy and keeping everybody else too. They effectively said publicly, well, you know what? The reason why we went 7-10 is only because of Luke Getsy. And that's wrong. Bears are not going to pay him, John, because the defense knows what's coming. Fair enough. This is why he's gone. Polls can't wait. John are on the line more than Fields. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Boy. Now let me check my email too real quick. Any requests? Anybody want to come on? McFact, you want to come on? I'm not going to kill you. Don't worry. We can have some fun debating if you'd like. You could come on, or anybody for that matter. I appreciate all the comments. Remember, this is Sports Talk Chicago. Jon Zaghloul, John Meadows, directing, producing, and contributing with us here. Follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on this video. And if anybody wants to hop on with me, you can. Make sure you got your audio and camera set up good, but you can hop on right here on the screen with me and talk Bears with me. Just email me, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. We'll send you the StreamYard link in response, and you can come on with me and talk anything you want as long as you keep it somewhat appropriate. Now, we can have a fun conversation. So if you do want to hop on, either spit some facts about Justin Fields or dispel my narrative and my opinions, you're welcome to either way. We appreciate the engagement and appreciate everybody hanging out here with us nonetheless. Ooh. Let's see here. Lions 17, Bucks 10, quarter 3. Okay. And you know what? If the Bucks don't move further, if the Bucks don't make it, right, make it any more further, I still think they had a nice season, all things considered. Baker Mayfield, came in on a one-year prove-it deal, and he's proven enough to me. They had a good year nonetheless, no matter what happens. They had a really nice season. He has.
Tell him to download the OBS software, and we'll have him on in future shows. Bring him on for
McFact, yeah, John, I've been following you before you got this new studio. Well, brother, I appreciate that. And again, you're welcome to contribute any time. I know John was telling me you could download OBS, you could always just even hop it on your phone if you wanted to as well. You're welcome to come on in and contribute. Just shoot me an email. And I appreciate that you followed me for that long. And hey, it's okay if we have a difference of opinion. Back in the day when I started the YouTube page in 2020, let alone before when it was just audio and podcast and all that, I got a lot of hate for the Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles debate. So, it's okay. It's okay that we don't have the same opinion. And I appreciate actually a diversity of opinions. I don't want 18,000, John disciples following everything I say. I want to have a diversity of opinion anyway. And that's what makes it fun. Makes it more fun doing that than, having everybody say, oh, I got to believe what John says. No, I'm just a guy. Don't necessarily have it all right. So I love it. But Nano CBD, right? Man, you've been killing it today, dude. You can come on with me and spit more facts if you want, but you're saying it here. If you need to make excuses for your QB1 after 3 seasons, then he's not the guy. It's true. If you still have to make excuses about Justin Fields, if you have to write up qualifiers and say, well, this is why it didn't work, then guess what? We got a problem. We got a problem. We really do. You got to make excuses about him. You got to sit here and justify what happened or how things. It's just stupid. You can't make excuses. The plain and simple thing is he did not perform. Fields had open guys he didn't throw to. Is that Getsy's fault? Getsy failed Fields. No doubt. He should have played to Justin's strengths. But we know what Fields is. He's a mediocre quarterback. Yes. He's a good playmaker in terms of running, kind of this like hybrid. If they made him into a Taysom Hill, I think he'd be great at what Taysom Hill does. Right? But in terms of being a quarterback, a passer, he is mediocre. And that's not wrong based on numbers. It's true. I think J.F. is a one-breed QB. Yeah. He is a great runner. Michael, you're right. He is. I've never said anything bad about his running ability. He is a great runner. He would be an amazing Taysom Hill, too. That's what I'm saying. Taysom Hill, compared to Justin Fields, actually sucks. I think Justin Fields would be a 10 times better Taysom Hill if he was used in that capacity. But I don't think he will, Aled Jones, I'm a big fan of the NFL. Yeah, well, good to see you here with us, having some fun, debating and discussing all things Bears and really any other sports, too. You guys could comment on other things. We do talk Cubs, White Sox, and Bulls. I know Mark Chanowski came on this past week. We had a nice discussion about what the Bulls are doing now and, Kobe White's resurgence and look at a year he's had. So you guys are welcome to discuss anything with us. We've been live for a while, hour 20. We're still going strong here. I love it. Got John Meadows in the building. Myself, Jon Zaghloul, here with you talking all things Chicago sports here on YouTube. And you could comment. You could also contribute to the show in person if you'd like. Shoot us an email. We'll put you on the air. sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com. You send us an email, and we will put you on screen with me to talk about whatever you'd like. All you got to do is email us. I'll make it easy. I'll even put it in the chat for you guys. Make it easy. Sports Talk Chicago 1@gmail.com. There's the email right there. Comment, email me, and join me live. Pin it. 17-17 in Detroit. McFact, John, for the record, I felt that Mitch was totally misused by Nagy. Nagy tried to force Mitch to be a pocket passer. Mitch had mobility, and it wasn't utilized. Exactly. I'm with you. Yeah, shoot me an email, guys. Come on board with me here. Let's have a nice conversation, mano a mano, on camera, talking anything you'd like. You can email me and join me live. Email is pinned in the comment section for all of you to contribute to. Got a lot of people here, though, already. What a robust crowd here on a Sunday afternoon. I love it. If the Bears keep Fields, I think if he has a good OC, I think he can help develop him. Because if you don't notice, Fields doesn't flip the play like a lot of QBs. Fields will still be better. We all saw what Mitch did elsewhere. He's a backup QB. We're seeing it again with Justin. I hope Justin goes somewhere and proves me wrong, but I don't see that happening. And I'm with you, Jason. I think that's a fair evaluation. Fair evaluation. I'm with you. Velus Jones.
Is he used in the wide receiver spot? Has he caught any passes this year?
Yeah, I could look that up.
Let's look that up.
Yeah.
Because he's fast. That's the number one reason that they have him. He's fast. So can you sprint him downfield and throw him the long ball or no?
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, John asking about Velus Jones. Well, here's what he's done as a wide receiver this year. 4 catches for 20 yards the whole season. He's 26 years old. He ran for 51. He caught 20, and that's it. And he's 26. I mean, come on. Ryan Poles, what are you doing? Let's see here. Ravens D. I like this question, McFact. The man, what's your earliest Bears memory? Good question. I like that question. Earliest Bears memory, 2005, when they lost in the NFC divisional round to Carolina. That was my earliest one. That was still Lovie Smith. That was the year before the Super Bowl. I was 5 years old. I remember watching that game with my dad. And Steve Smith, from what I recall, Steve Smith Sr. and Jake Delhomme just killed the Bears' defense. Panthers' offense was so electric that season. And then I remember watching the Super Bowl later that year. That was the Seahawks and Steelers Super Bowl, the one that Bill Cowher and Jerome Bettis famously won, and then Cowher retired after that season. So, yeah, I remember that was my earliest Bears memory specifically. And then obviously, the 2006 season, I remember all those playoff games. I think they're all recorded at my dad's. My dad recorded them all on VHS tapes at that time. I remember the Seahawks won, right, where the Bears kicked the field goal by Robbie Gould to win in OT. I remember them destroying New Orleans at home in the championship game, and I remember them losing to Indianapolis in that Super Bowl. So, yeah, I remember all those. Those are probably my earliest Bears memories. So I like, that was a fun question. See, I like those questions too. You guys can ask me anything as well. What if change of scenery would help, like if Fields went to the Atlanta Falcons? By the way, can someone explain why Velus Jones is still on this team? No, it's not an overreaction. I really don't know why. No, it's not an overreaction, and I don't know why either. I mean, he put up 20 yards last year, receiving 51 yards rushing. He's 26 years old. I mean, I don't even know what he's doing here. So, yeah, I don't know. He's really good at muffin punts. He's amazing at muffin punts. In fact, they should add a skills competition to the Pro Bowl called muffing punts. He could have the ball go through his hands, land on a target, hopefully it hits the bullseye, and he wins, and they give him $100,000, more than his salary today. That'd be fun. That would be the cool Velus Jones way to keep him involved in NFL football. Other than that, go to the UFL. Sucks. I lived through the 90s Bears. Tough times, the Wanstead era. Memories. I vaguely remember the 80s. I remember Peyton's last game. I was too young to appreciate it. John, are you surprised Cutler and DJ Moore coming out in favor of keeping Fields? When do former players or current receivers manage this team? Isn't that the GM's job? Yeah, I don't know why they came. I know DJ Moore. So DJ Moore saying that because, he had a great year with Fields, obviously, and you don't want a player on the current team trashing the current quarterback. That's just not going to look good optically. Jay Cutler probably has sympathy for Fields because of the way he was treated here, too. I don't blame him. Nevertheless, they could always say what they want. Chase Daniel saying the same thing. Chase Daniel was a freaking bust, right? So he could say whatever the hell he wants. I don't really care what he has to say. Everybody can have an opinion, like that, and say whatever they want. Look, I see it differently. That's all. I see it differently. I don't see it. Alex Brown, I want a QB like that, referring to Jordan Love. Yeah, I do too. Me too. I'm in the same boat. Jordan Love's season this year would have been the best in Bears history. 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. No Bears quarterback's ever done it. We got people on the radio, by the way. I listened to the day after the Bears lost that game. I was listening to ESPN 1000, just hearing callers. They're sitting there bashing Jordan Love. Even the hosts, to their credit, are like, no. You don't bash Jordan Love. Look what he's done. You cannot say one negative thing about Jordan Love or that Packers team based on what they did this year. I don't care if you hate the Packers. You're a Bears fan. No, you literally can't bash them. Look at how good they did this year. And look at how good Jordan Love did this year, too. Any tips for making thumbnails, Gary? I wish I could give you a tip. I'm not good at them. McFact, John, you're younger than I thought. As a kid, I remember Bobby Douglas. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of Bears QBs, and trust me, I know you won't. LOL. Fields checks all the boxes. He needs good coaching. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm 23, McFact, so I'm going to be 24 next month. So, yeah, definitely younger. I was 5 years old in 2005 when I remember watching that Bears team. Every time I see him on the field, he literally wants to make me break my TV because every damn time he catches the ball, he fumbles it. I mean, Ryan Poles, this is bad. He's a bust, and he should be cut. Yes. Very good point. Thank you. Somebody else is seeing it. And, I'm going to say this, too. I don't think we're harsh enough on Velus Jones Jr. I mean it, because I don't hear anybody else in the media talking about him. Like, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, he sucks. Well, whatever. No, cut him. He's that bad. Do it. Why does nobody bring that up? Why are we so scared to say that? I mean, I think that's actually a popular opinion that could have everybody galvanize around you rather than saying Justin Fields sucks. I mean, everybody could kind of agree on that. Why is everybody so mute and silent on the whole Velus Jones thing? He's bad. He needs to go. I mean, come on, guys. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying media. People got to speak up about that. But then again, maybe I was too early. I was calling for Velus Jones to be cut his rookie year, but it hasn't gotten much better. So maybe I was right about that one. One of the few. But that one seemed like a slam dunk. I mean, many people could say they were right on that. It was pretty apparent early on, this isn't really going to work. Love didn't have a single wide receiver go for 800 yards and still went over 4,000 on the season. Yes. Thank you. Distributed the football. Had the youngest roster in football. Had literally no weapons. And look what he did overall based on who he threw the ball to. Thank you. I mean, it's that simple. That simple. I'd rather keep Fields and cut Velus. I mean, every time he's on the damn field, I know something bad is coming. Somebody's in my camp today. I love it. Trade Talk Sports Chicago. I love it. You're so right, dude. We got no emails. That's okay. Maybe you're shy. We're going to keep doing this. So remember, every Sunday, people, you're all here. We're going to do this every Sunday, kind of a live stream. And, we want people to come on camera with us. We want people to have conversations with. We want to increase engagement. And in the pinned comment here, you can just shoot me an email, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com, and we can have a fun discussion. Doesn't even have to be a debate. It's not going to be Skip and Shannon or First Take or Undisputed on here. But we can have some fun debating and discussing anything in Chicago sports and really increase engagement and have more contact with all of our great fans. So that's what we're trying to do. If you get any emails today, that's okay, but we want to get some in the future. So I hope that people do it. Why do Bears fans expect Fields to do better elsewhere, but Williams could not do well in Chicago? I agree. Purdy was picked second to last in the draft. My point was just going over my sadness of Love being the third Hall of Fame quarterback in a row for the Packers. It's like a sick joke. I want a Purdy-style quarterback. Okay. I'm fine with that because Brock Purdy put up better numbers than Justin Fields. He's not necessarily a superstar, but he's a very, very good game manager. And he knows how to win football games, like it or not. I mean, yeah, they're going to the NFC Championship game, so you can't really diss Brock Purdy. You can't. They're going to the NFC Championship. But yeah. Yep. Go ahead, John.
So I want to take a quick pause here, and I want to talk about, what's in store for this channel in 2024. We want to drive home the point that, while the content is Bears heavy because Bears, at least right now, kind of run the city. We are a sports talk channel, and we are a radio show. So, we try to encompass as much of the Chicago sports landscape as possible. So we're going to be talking Cubs. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking White Sox. We're going to be talking Bulls.
Yes.
Obviously, that stuff more once football season ends. But even in the off season, we're going to be talking about Bears a lot in the off season. We're going to do a lot of stuff. At least I'm going to force John to do a lot of stuff on the NFL draft because I think we can turn that into a fun time. Have more do live stream stuff during the draft because that can be a lot of fun. And especially after the Super Bowl and stuff, I would like to talk a lot of basketball because even just talk about basketball in general, just because I feel, and you have mentioned this, and this is happening in all of the sports spaces. Baseball's doing everything humanly imaginable to try to get more eyeballs, back to baseball. Basketball just doing. I still don't understand this in-season tournament. That doesn't. We could.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And then of course football.
Yeah.
And for you people out there, for the Blackhawks lovers, I'm trying to find as many ways possible because I would like to, really expand our Blackhawks coverage. Now, especially after Bedard, he already fractured his jaw because he took that hit.
Right.
And also, I don't know what's going on in hockey in general. Just in the NHL and even outside of the NHL, everybody's getting physical. Like everybody's throwing knuckles. It's. I've been watching some videos on YouTube. In the World Leagues and the Canadian leagues, and even in the NHL, they have lost their minds.
Yes.
I mean. If you've ever heard the joke, I went to a boxing match and a hockey game broke out. I mean, that is happening all over the place this year. I could be wrong, but I feel like I've never seen as much fighting in hockey as this. And this is, coming from the 70s and 80s when they teed off on each other. But,
yes.
So just talking about the channel in general, and, we enjoy you guys. So I just want to drive home the fact that, for you people out there who like things other than football, we will talk about that.
And on that note, too, we're working behind the scenes on a lot of things that you guys are going to be hopefully getting to see this year. We are working on getting on a couple of more radio and TV affiliates, especially before the next Bears season comes about. We are looking to partner up with more content creators to get new voices and new people on this channel. We have some great fans here who are receptive to other people besides myself giving opinions, and that's great. And we're trying to partner up with more people who want to do that regularly on this channel and on this program. So there are a lot of exciting things for this channel and a lot of good things already going on in terms of where things are going. I mean, the fact that we just added another radio affiliate is awesome. I really hope you guys support them, 98.3 The Life. We are so excited to be on the air now in Northern Illinois. It's a market that we've really had some trouble trying to crack, and now we're there. That's just small, right? There's going to be a lot more coming down the pipe, and we're excited to announce that stuff soon as things get more finalized and ready to go. But until then, we appreciate all of your support, and we're hoping that you stick around for us for Bears, but not just for Bears, for Cubs and for White Sox, and for Bulls and for Blackhawks, especially Cubs and White Sox. Spring training's coming up, and there's going to be a lot going on when it comes to how things are going to play out for them. So, I think we're good. I think we're going to end it here today. It was a long and fun stream, an hour and 40 minutes of comments and people and interaction, which I appreciate. I'm hoping next week we get somebody to come on the air with us. Come on the air. Just email me, sportstalkchicago1@gmail.com, and we'll put you on the air. We can talk about anything you'd like. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Big thank you to John Meadows, directing, producing, and contributing to today's program. Thank you to all of you. You can follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Be a part of the community. We love this community, and I appreciate you being here. And I just saw my man Hands Down with a $19.99 donation. I love it, dude. And let me read out your comment here. For what it's worth, the last time I was on a live event was Week 4, Broncos versus Bears. I made a lot of stupid comments out of frustration. I apologize personally to John, but I wanted to apologize publicly for my immaturity. Hey, Hands Down, I love you, brother, and I appreciate that. He, Hands Down, sent me a DM probably about 2 weeks ago on Twitter saying something similar. I want to say there are no hard feelings, and there's really not even a need for an apology. There really isn't. I appreciate it. There's no need for it. We all have different opinions, and that's okay to me. I have no issue with somebody, having a different opinion than me, but it shows maturity on your part to apologize, even though you didn't have to. And I certainly appreciate that, and appreciate the donation as well. So we'll be with you Wednesday night for the usual live stream that's going to go to radio. We'll be with you next Sunday for more live talk as well. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything, and hit the like button so you don't miss it too. Until next time, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. So long.